Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you have been here before. If you haven't, welcome. And today I'm going to remove this old design and I will recreate the design I have on my left hand. So let's start filing off this old design. I start out with my efile on between 20 to 25 rotations per minute, and I'm using the two-way bit because you want your bit to perform as nicely as it does when you're using your right hand. As you can see, I'm using my left hand to remove the product on my right hand, or I'm using my non-dominant hand. The plan was to just remove the design and the gel polish, but when I started to remove the gel polish around the cuticle area, that is when I noticed that this job was going to be a lot bigger than just a simple infill. I could tell that there was a lot more lifting than anticipated. I haven't had lifting like this for, I would say, never. This is the first for me. It was so weird and I was so surprised by this and taken back by this because I haven't had these problems before. So I'm trying to figure out how this happened. Maybe I forgot to buff my nails. I used a polygel that was an older polygel. It might have been an older polygel. So yeah, I just need to figure out how this happened. I do have some videos of me doing this set, but I'm not sure if I want to edit it and upload it because I was not happy with the final result. The design is okay in itself, but I wasn't happy with it. It didn't come out like I envisioned in my mind, so that is mainly why. So yeah, I might have to go through the videos and see what happened. Did I do any mistakes that I usually don't do? So yeah, I need to see. And like you can see here, I have filed down to the lifted area. And when you remove a product, you need to remove the bulk and you need to be gentle and you need to file mostly at the area that you can see are not lifted. You can see that this white area, the whitish area or lighter pink area is the area where the product has lifted, and the darker pink is where the polygel is still attached to my nail plate. So I'm thinning out everything, and when I get close to the lifted area, I only file on the darker part. So when you get down to the lifted part, it just flicks off. And it did not look good. And I was contemplating about actually just snipping those nails off and start over. Because as you can see, I already done an infill on these nails. And my natural nails has grown very long. So it was time to snip them off and start over. But I wanted to keep on working on these. So yeah. So once the filing is done with the e-file, I'm going in with the orange wood stick and I just slide it underneath the cuticle. That way it separates from the nail plate. And then I go in with the electric file again, but now with the red diamond flame bit. And my e-file is about 15,000 RPM. I am removing that tacky white and keratinized skin that is still attached to the nail plate. And when doing this bit should not be pressed down on the nail plate. It should only glide on top of it. And then I lift my handpiece up and go back. And this bit is not touching the nail plate at all. I only go in and push up the dry cuticles even further, and by doing this the dry skin will automatically separate itself from the living skin. Like when I'm going around here, I push it further back And as you can see, when I get around and go over once more, you can see that it is just flaking away and this skin is loose. And of course it's very important that your drill bit is not touching the nail plate when you go around and pushing this cuticle up. And by using the clip underneath my nails, yes, my nails is turning blue, but it helps to put tension on my skin, and that is also helping a lot to separate the dry skin from the living skin. So for this rebalance, I am going to use Brillbird's pink builder. This is a really beautiful pink, of course, pink builder. And I'm going to use their nail prep and their primer and the bond gel. Other brands may have a base gel here. Different brands have different labels and different ingredients in their steps. So to get the best result, it's also always best to use a certain brand from base to finish or from start to finish. That will give you the best adhesion. So I'm going first in with the Dehydrator on the natural nail and the primer. And then the bond gel. The bond gel should be applied in very thin layers for best adhesion. This bond gel is going to grab a bond of my natural nail and grab a bond of the newly added on builder gel. And this must be cured for, I am not sure for this bond gel, but at least 1 minute in an LED lamp and 2 minutes if you use the UV lamp. So after this is cured, I then go in with the pink builder gel. I first apply a thin layer, also called a slip layer or a wet layer, that you do not cure, because this wet layer is going to act like a boundary where the bigger bead is going to float within. This also helps so that the gel do not flood into the cuticle. Unless you wait a little bit too long and it will flow over this wet layer. And I also go in with a tiny bit more as a second layer. I'm going to try not to talk that much throughout this video. It is more of a like watch me work video, at least here where I'm doing just infill or rebalance. Well, I can talk a little bit about the rebalance. Okay. Well, the name rebalance, you are doing a rebalance of the apex. So I have filed, of course, the majority of the bulk away. So the tip from the free edge and out is just thin tips now. So I need to add more product and move the apex a little bit further back since the nail has grown out. So it's basically like sculpting nails on top of tips. And as you can see, my nails are very curved, so I usually go in with my brush, or as you can see, the orange wood stick, and just add a little bit more gel on the side because my nails are curved inwards. Yeah, so gel is not the easiest to work with when applying gel on such curved nails. But it is the product that I'm so used to, so I tend to go back to using gels a lot. I really also would like to try to use the acrylics a little bit more. So let's hope for some more acrylic videos in the future. And I'm going to, like I said earlier, I'm going to recreate the design I have on my other hand. And on my other hand, it is already grown out a week or two, but I like that design, so I was trying to make a full set of nails for once. And again, I have managed to make a video of me working with my non-dominant hand. And wipe off the tacky layer when you are finished curing the nails. And then it is time for some filing. I am going to just show you me filing one nail because it is so time consuming to film, and I'm twisting my arms in all kind of directions when doing this. Under the camera it's easier on both of us to just show you one nail. It is good to stick to a filing routine, but when I'm working with my non-dominant hand, I tend to go a little bit more all over the place. But I try to start with the tip and file one side and then the opposite side. And once the tip is done, I move over to the cuticle area, work on one side and then the other side. And here I laid a file like flat on top from the apex down to the tip of the free edge to try to get that angle a little bit more flat. If you have a hump nail or curved, that you often have a little bit too much product at the free edge, and too much product at the free edge will also cause lifting problems. So I'm going in and trying to recreate my thumb, and I'm using these flakes from AliExpress and just some iridescent glitter. I'm also going to use Madame Glam's gel paint and their white builder gel. And I'm going to use this green gel polish called Undercover. This other one, this grey one, I am not going to use. And I will be using this Moondust and this grey one called Antique Silver and this green one called ProsperUS. And the names will also be where I'm placing them on my palette, just to have some extra gel to put on here and there, and maybe around the cuticle areas and so on. This grey one is almost like a jelly texture or a jelly consistency. It is so beautiful. It is not that beautiful on top of pink, but that is why I had to apply 3 coats here. And it has these beautiful tiny gold specks. And that I love sparkle. I love everything that sparkles. For the marbling on the thumb, I start with applying base coat just to have a wet layer to place the flakes and the glitters into. And just placing it wherever I feel like it should be. It's kind of, I want some of these to poke through the nail like a 3D, and some of them is going to stay hidden and in the background. And after I place these things, I do cure this. I am not yet sure if I'm going to leave in the video of me doing the thumb, because I did not like the thumb. It turned out way too chunky compared to the other thumb, and way too chunky in general. So you will see if you still see this or not. So I'm going in with the white builder, just some random area. I also add in some clear gel where the white is not applied. And then I go in with some random lines with the thin liner and the green, the ProsperUS color, and I end up just marbling it all together and create a design that is pleasing to my eyes. So I try not to cover up all of these flakes with the white. I try to apply the clear where the flakes and the glitter are. On my left hand I do have full tips, so the outcome on this hand will be different than on my right hand that has the pink tips. And once I'm happy with the marbling, I do cure it. And I go in also with the antique silver on my ring finger. I could have just applied 1, 2, but not 3 layers here, since I'm going in afterwards and doing a marble design here as well. But I guess that didn't enter my mind. And I'm also applying 3 layers of the antique silver to my pinky and my index finger. And once I finished applying the gray color, I go in with the Moondust color. That is just glitter, gold glitter and flakes and holographic specks inside. And I'm just applying those to the tip and try to make a little ombre or fade the glitter out. And since I'm using glitter and I'm placing the glitter wherever I want it to stay, that makes this gel a little bit chunky or the application a little bit bulky. So you will see me buff down this surface later in the video before I apply a top coat. Yeah, I do apply a top coat and then I buff the surface and then reapply another top coat or apply another top coat. And then I go in with a green ProsperUS color. This is also kind of like a yogurt. I'm not sure if it's called yogurt or jelly color. You can see it's quite thin. You would need at least 2 or maybe 3 layers to get this to fully cover this pink underneath. But it is really beautiful to apply over clear, for instance. So I did apply 2 coats, I think, and then I go in with the green jelly color because it did not sit well in my head with the other color. I needed this jelly green on top to turn out good in my head. I really like the outcome. And after it has cured, I go in with the top coat. And I guess it's time for filing or buffing the tip of my index and my pinky. So like I said, I'm just buffing the surface to smooth out the nail. And then I'm going to apply the top coat so that your whole nail is smooth and has a silky finish. and then apply the finished top coat to these two nails as well. And then it is time to marble my last nail. I then start out with a base coat that is not going to be cured. It is the wet layer for the glitter and the flakes. Like I said earlier, if you watch footage of the thumb. And then these iridescent glitters as well. And when this is cured, I use the clear builder and place it wherever I want it to be. And then I go in with the white builder in the areas where I have not placed the clear one. And I use the fine liner and use the green color and kind of do some marbling. It is quite random and not that thought out. When you blend them together, it kind of all fall into place. So it's a very easy way to do marbling, and it looks so much more complicated than it is actually. And after this is cured, I go in with the white paint gel to make some more distinct lines of the marble, I guess. And after this, I go in then with a thicker thin brush and just fade down the one side of these lines to make it look like more faded and more marbled. And after this has been cured, I do go in with another base layer because I'm going to add another layer to this dimension with some more flakes and some more glitter and just a little bit more of the white builder just to fade some of this glitter again. So after everything comes together, I also go in and buff the whole nail and file the whole nail. And when doing this, I will file off some areas, so that will actually just make the design even better looking in my opinion, because it doesn't always turn out like you think it would turn out, but it always turns out great. Except for the thumb, it turned out too thick. It was too thick and too bulky. Yeah, that thumb did not turn out too well. When I'm finished with the design, I go in with a layer of clear builder so that this clear will kind of fill up the tips in this nail, so I do not end up over filing all the surfaces here. But I'm not going to show you the filing part. I'm just going to show you the finished results. I really like this design actually. Well, as I said earlier, I really like everything that sparkles. Please ignore the thick thumb. Look at the other thumb instead. It's a lot better. And then I'm going to use the squeezy gel to adhere this big chunk of an alloy. For no reason I really like to have it in that area of the nail, like on the free edge. It just felt better in my mind. I just liked it. Actually no reason other than that. So place it and cure it. And the nails are finished. They just need some cuticle oil. And like I mentioned, the left hand has been finished for a week or two, so yeah, it has grown out a little bit, but I am very pleased with the finished design. So I hope that you like this design as well. If you did, please consider giving me a huge big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And let me know in the comments what you think about this. If you have any questions and so on, please ask me. And of course also follow my other social medias like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And I hope to see you really soon in another video and another new design. So bye bye for now. Bye bye.